All righty, so we're going to go live. We're going to see if this actually works. So let's see. Welcome to TikTok Live. Having fun interacting with your viewers in real time. Host must be 18 older to go live. Viewers must be 18 or older, and all of this good stuff. So yeah, we'll wait for a few people to come in. I'm just kind of experimenting with this thing. And we're going to see if we can go live and record this and potentially post this on the YouTube channel. Kind of link the TikTok and the YouTube. So hey, what's going on, Megan? Appreciate you joining. We're just kind of playing around with this. We're going to be talking about objective truth. Is there such thing as objective truth? And I'm going to kind of see if I can link this on YouTube. So keep an eye on what you say and what you post, because you may see it on the YouTube channel, which is named Vikter Bang also. I think on TikTok, I'm approaching 50,000 followers, but on YouTube, like there's 50 times more people on TikTok that I deal with than YouTube. And it looks like that's my guy Bud in there. I think I see Bud. I don't know if that's Bud or not. But it was going on Dapplewood. So the question is there a such thing as objective truth? Like just trying to figure out something simple and get some feedback, talk to you guys on. Just saw 227 there. Shout out to people joining in. Like, what are your thoughts? In my opinion, you couldn't have sports if there wasn't a such thing as objective truth. Some people say my truth, and it's a 6 or a 9 depending on how you look at it, right? Bro, the mic is just a prop. It don't even work. Oh, you're not hearing the audio? You're not hearing me going for now? Let me know, man, because I'm hearing myself in the headphones. But yeah, let me know if you're not hearing me. It ain't a prop. It's actually on, big dog. Yeah, it's actually on. And it's probably gonna sound better on YouTube than what you're hearing now. But no, it's not just a prop. I'll move it out the way. I ain't got time for props. But the question that we're talking about is there such thing as objective truth? So since you're talking about my prop going for now, what are your opinions on that? Objective truth. Is there a such thing as a truth that's out there, whether you believe in it or not? Because I hear arguments, well, you haven't seen it from my perspective. It's a 6 or a 9, depending on how you look at it. And I'm saying it's not a 6 or a 9. There's different values in those numbers. It's either one or the other. Table Miniatures, what's good? Yeah, good to see you on here too. I don't go live often, and I'm playing around with the idea of it. But I'm kind of trying to link this with the YouTube and trying to put out a little more something. We'll see how often I do this. If there's any value, it's cool to interact on some level. So definitely. So, but just don't want to get on here and yap and run my mouth. So I'm glad to see you on here too. It was good. Mistress Red Room 69. Oh my goodness, y'all getting racy out there with it. Yeah. So the topic is there such thing as objective truth? And one of the things I was thinking about is if objective truth, and this is outside of your perspective. So for instance, when I say he got the mic from TJ Maxx, well, they may sell a mic at TJ Maxx. I don't know. I haven't seen mics like this. It's just a blue mic. It ain't nothing special. I mean, I guess on the video it looks pretty big, right? Let's change the topic. All right, what would you rather talk about? Going for now. My guy's using the microwave as a mic. Yeah, it's a bit Make a Wish. Y'all got jokes. That's funny. Oh, that's cool. We could joke about it. Yeah, it is a big mic. Yeah, damn. I mean, I didn't make the mic. I didn't design the mic. I mean, hell. I mean, it was actually a gift. So it is what it is. But I figured I'll use it at least for this YouTube thing. And this is going live on TikTok. So and the TikTok live is I'm playing around with posting it on YouTube. So watch what you say as well. Should have re-gifted that. Y'all are real funny. Yeah. Well, a lot of people use these blue mics. I mean, it sounds good. It sounds good in my ear. And it is what it is. I mean, maybe they make smaller ones. I'm sure there's a reason why it's this size, but if the mic bothers you, then I'm sure you can go elsewhere, not being mean, but I'm going to talk on the mic. But objective truth. one of the things that, and we can talk about another subject. I'm more than willing to chat about what you guys want to chat about, but I thought this would be a good topic, at least to start with, just something general, not trying to get into nothing too deep right here, right now, kind of just testing this out. But sports, your perspective doesn't change where the lines are, where the ball is, where the goal is, these things, right? So there must be a such thing as objective truth, or sports wouldn't work, because my perspective of 100 yards is different than your perspective of 100 yards, right? The difference between a 6 and a 9, 60 yards and 90 yards, right? So there is a thing that's in this reality that's subjective. And now your perception of it, whether you like a sport or don't like a sport, or like a fruit and don't like a fruit, that's your perception of it. But that doesn't change the objective reality. I can hear you breathing more than you actually talking. Really? I must be breathing loud, man, because goodness, I'm sorry about that, man. So going for now, what's on your mind, man? I mean, you got a lot of jokes, a lot of comments, and talk about my breathing and all that. I guess I don't know, man. Maybe I am breathing hard, but the question is not whether I'm breathing hard or not. But appreciate it, table managers. Yeah, the question is objective truth. So let me ask you this: you can answer the question. Do you think there's such thing as objective truth? You're hearing me breathing, so you have a perception of that, whether it's good or bad. But the truth of me breathing is there, right? The reason I'm bringing this up is because there's a lot of people that say my truth and your truth, and you haven't seen it from my perspective. And there's a such thing as perspective, but there is a such thing as objective reality as well. And that's what we're all living in and part of, this matrix, if you will. So I think one of the things in the spiritual community that keeps us from moving forward is this whole idea of it's a 6 or a 9. You haven't seen it from my perspective, and maybe that there isn't a such thing as objective truth. So I just wanted to get on here and kind of get some feedback and comments on that. It is 9 something on Sunday, and I know we all live in different realms of understanding. No, I feel you, Sean, but I guess the question is, our understanding is different, but is there a shared reality, right? We're all looking on this on phones or computers or whatever. So there has to be something objective that we can interact with and have our own understanding and perspective of. So do you agree with that? Or do you agree, or do you think that your understanding changes the shape of your phone or the things that are in this physical matter reality? Also, you believe so. Okay, I got you. And there's certain people that believe that. I guess one of the arguments that I would have is that there is a such thing as objective reality. Whether I look at it or not, it still exists. Whether, and I know you can argue that it's being rendered in real time when you look at it and it's not there and all of this stuff. But when it is there, it's pretty solid. It's pretty stable from my perspective. But maybe I see things differently, and I know we all can see things differently. I think you're right there. I do think that your book lays that down for understanding. I appreciate it. I appreciate you checking it out. And that's we can go into a whole lot of topics and a whole lot of things. One of the things that I learned and I'm coming to terms with is you can't give anyone your experience or your perception, no matter how much you try. You can't wake anyone up, no matter how much you want to or how much you try to. They have to have their own experience. What I eat doesn't make you grow. You're not going to see it from my perspective, right? No one's going to be able to see it from your perspective. But the thing is there something that we're all looking at, and we all have different perspectives of it, right? Is this light that's within us looking at this one thing that we call reality? And I talk about spiritual common sense, and that's what the table miniatures is talking about as far as the book, the 100-degree challenge, is just kind of trying to narrow that down. What can we agree on? What can we say is real? Because in my opinion, reality is truth. It's truth. And I guess you can argue that there's different kind of realities. And this is what I'm talking about here. There's the reality of this microphone that one of these that one of these guys was ragging me on, right? Whether you like it or not, the reality is this microphone is here. There's a perspective of it. It makes noise if I touch it. You probably won't hear it there, but I hear it there, right? So I hear it here. So there is an objective reality, and we're all experiencing it in different ways. We're all are different angles or angels, if you will, experiencing this light matrix that we call this world. I agree with what you said earlier too, even though I read through and tried to analyze myself. Okay, gotcha. And it's not about trying to agree, or I guess the thing is, what can we agree on? Because in my opinion, it's not going to be a whole lot of information that's going to be added that's going to impact this world positively. It's going to be individual experiences and them changing their own personal reality and their actions, and as a collective, then that reprograms the matrix, right? But it starts with the individual. We're all pixels on the screen, if you will. But in order for us to realize what we're capable of doing, we have to, for one, agree on some things, come to some agreements. The same way the neurons connect in the brain, I think, reflects how we connect with each other. Yeah. And we're all connected on multiple levels, right? But if you think about the neurons in your brain and how they interact with each other, they're not questioning if the other, like there's an agreement that they're neurons and they have this connection. Like there's a certain level that they're building on top of. And I wonder if sometimes we haven't even got to that base level to where we can just say, hey, there's a reality and we're building on top of that. And you can feel a certain way about it. I can feel a certain way about it. But can we agree that it can be better? Can it be more beneficial for all of us? Right. I guess that's what I'm kind of looking at. And yeah, it's something that it's simple on one level, but when you extrapolate it out, it really gets us into all of these different divisions that we're experiencing now that keep us divided. And just like the neurons, just like the neuron example, if you got neurons that don't believe that they're neurons and don't act like neurons, then are they getting and repeating and letting the signals go through, right? If I'm a neuron, but I actually believe or think that I'm a skin cell or some other cell, then when that signal comes to me, what am I going to do with it? I may not do what a neuron does with it. And I think a lot of humanity, even though we're connected, doesn't realize, understand that, and apply that. That's my thing, is application. There's a lot of information. You could look on TikTok for hours and see a lot of information, a lot of good stuff, a lot of not so good stuff. So the information is there, but are we really applying it? And that's one of the things I want to focus on, is applying this information that we have, right? And you would have to catch someone already at that point in life. Yeah, there's definitely a timing to it. That's for sure. People would have to be receptive to certain things. And there was a time in my life where I wasn't receptive. I just going on the spiritual tangent, grew up in the Church of Christ, and that was the one and only church. I'm sure everyone thinks their church is the one and only church and things of that nature. But there were things that I wasn't receptive to at certain times. So how have you changed your thought process about this realm from the past 2 years? Yeah, there was a time when I thought that there would be like a mass awakening on some level. And I'm not saying that potential doesn't exist, but I thought that there would be a potential for humanity to awaken on a large scale. The more that I look at and observe, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be an individual thing, and it may be a longer time frame than I would like, right? I mean, but it isn't on my time. It's on an individual's time. And yeah, there's certain mechanism that at place. You think about what do they call it? The like the 100th monkey type of thing, where someone learns a new skill and it gets it gets kind of uploaded into the morphogenetic field or whatever you want to call that. And other people or other monkeys are able to access that. So the example was monkeys learning how to wash whatever food they were eating in one remote area. And then that knowledge being shared to other monkeys, and then they started washing their food, right? So I guess something like that is possible, but I think the probability of that is getting lower from my perspective. So that has changed, and really, I've shifted the focus because I've seen that, and I've experimented with this on multiple levels, like family, friends, coworkers, just whatever, just seeing what's really out there, talking to people and getting their experience. And when you present them with something that's outside their belief system, whether it's true or not, there isn't much appetite to question one's own reality and one's own belief system. And that is not going to really come, in my opinion, from an external source. That's something that has to be from within. You're going to have to want to do that searching yourself. You're going to want to have to do that shadow work, and you're going to have to want to find that truth yourself and challenge yourself. And not many people have appetite for that, especially when you're surrounded by people that will agree with you, whether it's right or wrong. And, people that reinforce your belief system, whether it's right or wrong, whether it's beneficial or not. There's a lot of belief systems that aren't beneficial that have a lot of people. And like they say, misery loves company, right? So, you can be comfortable in ignorance and things that don't provide value. Just my 2 cents on that. And let's see. Perceive reality is for comfort and transmitting information. What actually is going on is kind of, no, I agree. Sean Connery, 007. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. But the perceived reality, would you agree that there is a reality that we're perceiving? I guess that was the initial thing. Is there an objective reality? Is there a reality we're perceiving from different angles? And we all have our unique angles, and just like we all have our unique fingerprints, but we're all observing something. And yeah, I can't say we all see it the same thing, but we're all looking at something. I hear you. When I was watching you more actively, I thought the same, mass awakening, but noticed, yeah, I'm with you. It didn't happen to myself like I thought it would. I noticed trouble in life. Yeah, and I guess for me, I'll just speak on myself, and that was just kind of picking up on some of the stuff that I saw in the New Age movement. And a lot of things have changed with the spiritual community and my thoughts on them. Like, I don't subscribe to any belief system or any type of dogma. And there's dogma in all of the belief systems, right? My whole thing is personal experience. If what I'm saying is true, then you should be able to find it and access it and know this yourself. So yeah, there's belief systems that will say, well, the whole savior complex. A lot of religions will talk about a savior coming, and some of these new age religions want a savior to come down, whether it's an alien or spirit person or whatever, right? My whole thing is that may be a potential, that may be a possibility, but what is the work that we can do here, the boots on the ground, to benefit ourselves and what we got going on? Let's see. That's a nugget. Shadow self-work. Yeah, that is a nugget. And that's a big one. Not many people want to dig in their own closet. It's definitely more comfortable to leave that stuff alone and not dig through it. But if you look at it just from a we'll talk about a closet, look at it from a room standpoint. If you're hoarding all of these things that aren't benefiting you, it's actually pushing you into a corner where you're not able to, you have less freedom, right? Imagine if this room, I didn't want to face the clutter and the negative things that were going on, and I just kept moving away and just not dealing with it. I can still be all right, but eventually that clutter is going to build up, and now I have less room to move and less freedom. So yeah, it's work clearing out that stuff and looking in the mirror and facing yourself. That's really what the shadow work is. Really really looking at yourself and being honest with yourself, because none of us are perfect. We're all learning, we're all evolving, and we all have our journeys, and my journey is no better than yours, and vice versa. So the thing is, can we learn from each other, and can we support each other in this crazy reality that we find ourselves in? And I think we can. I think we can do better than what we're doing. But part of that is just being honest, and honesty is it can be vulnerability, because no one wants to be ignorant of things. I don't want to be ignorant of things, but there's plenty that I don't know. I know that the things that I don't know are there's a lot more that I don't know than I do know, right? I mean, but I love to learn, and to love to learn, you have to be okay with your own ignorance, and there's things that we're all ignorant about. Let's see. Our reality is an anomaly. When people say it's the matrix, it undermines our collective experience. You say our reality is an anomaly. So, okay, when I talk about the matrix, so there's different layers to me when I talk about the matrix. Like, just this physical reality is a matrix, right? You can just say it's a I call it a light interactive fractal experience, right? If you boil down what this is, they say all of this stuff is just at the base of it, vibrating strings of light, right? And it just seems like it's physical matter, right? If you subscribe to that. So there's a physical matrix, right? Just this reality. And I don't think the physical matrix is a bad thing, right? I think it's a good thing. It's just like a game. 1 and 0s is a matrix of a video game. This screen is a matrix of 1s and 0s that gives you this image. So it's not a bad thing. Now, there's other layers to the matrix that are not part of this physical reality that are layered on top of this. You talk about the belief systems, the political systems, the socioeconomic systems, all of these things that are put on top of this that dictate, or not dictate, but influence how we react in this matrix with each other and with it, with the environment. Just look at that for an example. Just look at how we treat our environment, our own matrix, our physical, natural matrix. Just look at the way we've interacted with the environment. As one of the most intelligent species on the planet, supposedly, we're one of the few that actually degrades this environment. And it's not like we got a planet B or a plan B to go to. So that's an example of a belief system and something non-physical, another kind of matrix, if you will, affecting their real matrix. So that's why I talk about objective reality. An anomaly, that's interesting though. Okay. Awaken. I'm awakened. What's good? Bud, what's good with you, boss? Let's see. What are the things you're actively working on that I could lessen my learning curve? I mean, so at this point, for me, it's more about, it's not about information and getting people to wake up and getting people to believe a certain way or do things. I do realize that information is important, but there's also a timing to it. At this point, it's about your environment and your surroundings and really focusing on that. You can still help people, you can still do things of that nature, but it's really focusing on your own personal matrix, if you will. That's kind of what I've been doing, and just being creative and just doing what you enjoy. Because if you subscribe to, we still have some room to grow. Humanity is not going to be tomorrow where a mass awakening is going to happen and people are going to have the same realization that we have now. Then what are you going to do in the intern? If you're just trying to browbeat people and get them to see things how you see it, and they're not going to see it and they won't see it and they can't see it because they haven't done the internal work that they need to, then are you really wasting your time on a level? That's one of the things that I ask myself. And I put out a lot of stuff, and I've been talking about this stuff and experimenting with this stuff for years and years and years. And it's to the point now to where it's like, okay, it's time to really focus on myself, self-care and all that stuff. So that's what it gets to. Chilling, vibing, showing some love. Hey, appreciate it, bud. Much gratitude to your boss. Janice, what's good? Yeah, just here on live, just kind of testing some stuff out, talking about objective reality, and that's kind of where we started with it, and we're just talking about whatever. Damn, that hits. I appreciate. Yeah, no, it's true, and you're like we're giving people like the spiritual people, we're empathetic people, we're giving people, and from my perspective, I wasn't trying to harm anybody. I wasn't trying to hurt anybody. I really wanted people to question. And I've said things and done things to try to get a conversation started on the mainstream, on the biggest level that I can get it on, right? Like as a scientist, and I consider myself a scientist, I want to be proved wrong. Right. Like if someone says, oh, well, you're crazy and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, okay, well, what's crazy and how is it crazy? Let's get specific. Like it's easy to just throw out generalities, but let's get specific. Like it'd be different if I'm saying that something within me is not within you, or that this wasn't here. There's no such thing as a objective reality, right? I'm saying that human potential is a lot more than what we've been taught and what we've been told. And there's multiple layers that are available for us to experience, right? And you've heard and we've heard all of this stuff talked about in various belief systems and religions. And it's something that you're going to have to experience yourself. I can get on here and talk till I'm blue in the face about how good mango tastes. That doesn't get you any closer to tasting it. That doesn't get you any closer to the experience of it. It just shows that, hey, there's a guy eating a mango, the objective reality. Hey, there's a fruit and you can call it a mango. And he's saying it tastes like this. You may not like it. You may love it, but you got to have that own experience. The spiritual journey is like that as well. Because a lot of people are following other people, but that doesn't mean that they're going to have their own realization. It's just, it, that's the real journey, right? Is having your own realization. You found the frequency, I found high. Yeah, self-love. Yeah, and yeah, that's big, bud. And yeah, and I'm still working on that frequency, because I've been someone that's I put other people before myself for a long time. And and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It was a lesson learned from that, but I've learned to put myself first. And when I've done that, that's the thing. When you start to put yourself first, especially if the people around you are accustomed to you putting them first, then there becomes some potential conflict, because that's a change, right? And you can potentially lose people in your life that were parasites, that were leeches, or that just wanted to take and not give, that wasn't reciprocating that energy. And that can be a lonely thing. And that's something that isn't really discussed and talked about. Like the spiritual community could be a lot realer, and I get it. I don't want to be a negative person, I don't want to be pessimistic, but I want to be real. I want to talk about um you know give you some examples of what you can potentially experience, um because that happens. And you have to be comfortable with yourself at the end of the day, and that's part of enjoying your own company. um I appreciate the 5 people on this live, right? And you guys hanging out, enjoying your own company. And it's a difficult thing in nowadays, where people just kind of get lost in the sauce of the groups, and with groupthink, and just following the masses, and being a follower. I always say, I'm the leader of a leaderless movement, and you guys are leaders of leaderless movement as well. And that's what it's about. We're all here to experience, and no one person is greater than the other, right? We're all unique on purpose, and we should express our uniqueness, right? So Mastery of Love, Miguel Ruiz, just read it today, best book in a while. Oh, okay, that's what's up. Miguel Ruiz, yeah. You're talking about exactly what I'm going through. Yeah, a lot of people you're talking about with the loneliness. What's up, Amaris? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Oh, Azul, what's going on? Um, yeah, you're talking about the loneliness, or the solitude, and being comfortable with yourself. And that's something that just let me know if that's true. But that's something that I've had to learn myself, because I've always wanted to be around people. Hey there. and when you're a loving person, you want to give those things. And and that was me, and that is me. And even though there's no one around to receive that, that doesn't mean that you can't give it to yourself, right? It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you. That doesn't mean that you're faulty in some way because you're not surrounded by people. Like me personally, and this is something that I've learned recently, I'd rather be by myself than be around fake people, and that's just me. Like, I don't do much small talk. I don't do much of that. Like, I'd rather be around someone that's real, even if it's just me, even if it's just me, at least that I know I'll be real with myself, and I'll be real with you guys. But that was a process, because a lot of people will take advantage of your kindness, of your niceness, of your heart, of your of that. And it's not often that you hear, protect your energy. And it's okay to be selective with who you give it to and how you give it. You don't have to do everything for everyone when they want you to. You have a choice, and that doesn't make you a bad person because you don't want to hang out here or don't want to do this or things of that nature. So that's all right. It's no judgment there. So just keep that in mind. I know I'm nobody to say that, but sometimes it helps to know that other people kind of are going through and have went through the same thing that you may going through. But yeah, it is tough. It is tough, and it's something I don't like talking about it, but I guess we're talking about it now, because I mean, family and friends, like I've lost, and I wouldn't say lost. They're just not. I'm just not choosing to spend time with them because they don't even know me like that. That's the thing that I learned as I started awakening on my spiritual journey, blah, blah, blah. Like, I can be cool with you and you don't have to agree with anything. You can be way on the other side or whatever. If you're real and I'm real, then we can have a relationship. I'm not trying to surround myself with yes people or people that just agree with this, that, and the other, right? I like different perspectives. You learn from different perspectives. But I would love to, if I'm your friend or I'm your family and something happened to you or something changed in your life that was profound, I would want to understand, right? I would ask questions. I would want to know if I cared about you, even if I didn't agree with it. What makes you do these things? You used to believe XYZ and you don't. Why? Instead of just dismissing it like, oh, you the black sheep now. You ain't down with us. Do you even care why I'm not down? And down with who? What are we being down with? All of this stuff. So that's something that I realized that they really didn't care about. And there's different reasons for it, and I've tried to have those conversations, multiple times. But again, you can't force anyone to have those conversations. So I stopped, because the energy was separating. It's just like oil and water. They don't have to separate themselves. It just naturally happens. Part of the friction is when you try to keep those connections when they're not meant to be kept. You're rising and they're not. And it's not a judgmental standpoint. Hopefully they'll rise at a certain point in time. But if you keep that tether, it's going to prevent you from reaching your level, right? And it's a tough decision because you're choosing yourself, right? But who else is going to choose you better than you? Who else knows what you love and what you need and what's going to benefit you and what you value better than you? So if you're not riding for yourself, no one's going to ride for you better than you, right? So just keep that in mind. And I know it's not a popular thing because people will kind of beat you up because you're being selfish, right? You're being selfish. And yeah, it's just the way they term it. Because here's the thing: it's selfish if you're on an airplane and we're told this, and the cabin pressure drops, and you put the oxygen mask on yourself first, right? And not your kids, right? You put the oxygen mask on yourself first, and then you put it on the other people, right? Because you have to take care of yourself first, and then you can help other people. So it's not selfish. It's it's just real. It's real because you that's the only thing that you really have control over out of all this crap that we're going through and experiencing and could be coming down the pipe. All these potentials are out here. I mean, the world's crazy. In my opinion, the world is definitely crazy. But the only thing that we have true control over is how we respond, our internal, how we react to things, how we respond to things. Like I've learned to become the eye of the hurricane. And, you know, the eye in the center of the storm is the calmest part of the storm. It doesn't mean that there's turbulence on the outside, rain, wind, and all of this stuff. So you have to become the center of your own storm. And it doesn't mean that it won't be turbulence on the outside. It's a different feeling to go with what I want. Yeah, it's a different feeling. And that's right, Janice, but you who else is going to go with what you want, right? I mean, and if they do, are they going to do it the way you would, you know? So you have to, and I think it's okay. And again, you know, they'll try to label it as selfish and all of that stuff, but it's, in my opinion, it's not selfish. It's just taking care of yourself, and then you can take care of other people's. You can't give what you don't have. If I don't have my cup filled, then how can I pour, you know, water into other people's cups, right? I got to fill my cup first, right? So that's selfish, all to fill your cup first before you fill other people's. No, this is benefiting. It's going to benefit other people for you to get your stuff together and you to get on your top game, to get on your level. And if they don't understand that, if they're not with that, if they don't support that, then that should be information that you take into account. Because if they're really your friend, if they're really your family, if they're really down for you, they would want you to be the best version of yourself that you can be. They wouldn't hold you down. They wouldn't want to hold you down. They would want you to rise to whatever level that you wanted to. They want you to be the best version of yourself. They want as much success and love and whatever. They wouldn't be jealous. They wouldn't do none of that stuff, right? If they really care for you, if they really loved you. But you can see, and we've all experienced it, that when those things happen, sometimes the true color of people comes out. They can be family, friends, coworkers, whatever, especially when they're jealous of you, or when, and most of that stuff is how they feel about themselves. Like, people tend to project outwardly to you how they feel about themselves. That's another thing that you can, people tell on themselves if you listen to them. But most of the time we try to change people. That's another thing we try to do, is we try to change people. We can change this person, and you can't change anyone. They have to want to change themselves, right? And most of the time, if you listen, they'll tell you everything that you need to know. And your intuition may tell you as well, but we want to change and we want to create something that's not there and make things better and things of that nature. And that's what we want to do, right? We want to make things better. We want to make the situation better, but you can't change anyone. They have to change themselves. It's something that they have to be willing. And for someone to be willing to change themselves, they have to be able to look in the mirror and see the faults in themselves. They have to be able to be honest with themselves. And not everyone does that, we call that shadow work, or however you want to look at it. But yeah, that's why we need to look at ourselves. Absolutely. Not everyone wants to do that. And you'll realize that as well as you start to raise your vibration. As you start to raise your vibration, just imagine you become more of a mirror. You become a clearer mirror. Your shadow work is just clearing off your mirror, getting your mirror very, very clear and clean, so that when people see you, they're really seeing the reflection of themselves. And a lot of people don't like their own reflection, especially when it's accurate, when it's clear, when it's not distorted, right? People have distorted views of themselves. But when you're reflecting the truth that you are, the light that you are, and you're becoming a clearer mirror, they don't want to see that, right? And then people will run from that. And it is what it is. It's just how it seems to work. But the thing that I'm experimenting with is, because there was a time where I was trying to keep those relationships. There's people that I haven't talked to in in a while, like Thanksgiving, Christmas. Like I used to, go on the road and be around family and that didn't really, and I know they would talk about me after I left or whatever, because I'm the black sheep of the family, whatever. But they won't say these things to my face, right? But but they were family, they were blood and this, that, and the other. And I just decided, instead of just doing what everyone else does on Thanksgiving, because you're supposed to be around people on Thanksgiving, Christmas, because you're supposed to be around people on Christmas. Say, and it was tough. Thanksgiving was tough. My first Thanksgiving by myself, right? And it was like, is this really what you want to do? And it was tough, but I got through that. And then Christmas was tough too. Oh, your first Christmas. But then I just, like I mentioned before, it was a choice to be okay with the company I keep, even if it's just myself, because I could have been around family and he ha ha and been just as fake as they are sometimes. And for what? Just so I can be like everyone else and be around fake family and friends that don't really care about them, right? That's what they've shown me. So I'm the fool for continuing to be in that situation, right? So I have to learn myself. This is, my evolution. Oh, aloha, what's going on? Yeah, so I've learned to hang back and say I'm good when someone else sees himself. Yeah, yeah, that's real. Objective reality, conditions of life, subject reality, seeds of life, seeds, condition. Objective reality equals conditions of life. Subjective reality equals the seeds of life. Okay, okay, I got you. Yeah, that's what we were talking about before, and then we kind of morphed into whatever we're talking about now, just kind of relationships and and self love and being real with yourself and being okay with your own company, even if it's just yourself, you know. And yeah, it can be a lonely journey. But what I was going to say, and I feel like I'm just running my mouth. What I was going to say is that in my mind, maybe this is a way for me rationalize it in my mind, is that I said, okay, I don't have these people around me, but I know that these people really don't care about me. Why do these people not care about me? Because they don't know me. Why don't they know me? Because they're not trying to know me. They're not asking questions. They don't care about me, about my perspective, what I've went through, what I'm going through. Like they don't ask, it's just superficial stuff, right? Just surface level crap. So, okay, this is all true. This is all true. But you continue to do it from a comfort standpoint. You got people around and you're not lonely and all of this stuff. Um, and you don't have to deal with your own thoughts by being by yourself and these things. But I looked at it from this standpoint to where, okay, I'm making room for the conversations and for the company and for the people that I would like to have in my life, right? So I'm clearing that space and making room for the conversations and for the company that I would like to keep. They aren't here now, but this is a process. So just clearing that room, clearing that clutter out for other things. Yeah, and I appreciate that. That it's helping. Because it would have been nice to just to, and that's what this is all about, right? Just us sharing experiences and just letting each other know that you're not alone with whatever you're dealing with. And there's plenty of things we can get into that I've realized as well. A lot, the past few years have been really, a lot of trauma has come up that I had to heal, and we won't get into it here. But a lot of things that I found that other people share as well. We suppress a lot of things that happen to us, and as you start to declutter all of that stuff and do your shadow work and heal, right? Healing is an internal thing as well. Um, those things come up, and it's difficult to go through, but in the end, it's beneficial, right? So it's just something that it is. Janice? I usually keep a small circle, but it hurts. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it does hurt when your circle turns on you, for sure. For sure. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I keep my circles small as well. Um, it is what it is. Don't, but the thing about keeping your circle small is the people that are in your circle, if it's smaller, are genuine. Like what good is it to have a whole lot of friends and a whole lot of people around you that don't know you, don't care about you, and are just background people. You know, there's a lot of people that just have background friends, background family, and it's interesting. They talk about each other, stab each other in the back, and it's a whole bunch of drama. Um, I'm at the point now to where less drama the better. You know, who has time for drama? There's enough drama out there in this reality that we all have to deal with. Why would we want to add drama in our inner circles? Why would we want to add drama with the people that we invite to eat at our tables? Like, you don't need drama there. For me, that's not even worth it. Yeah. So let's see. You just reminded me that part of the reason in doing yoga is to heal the trauma. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because we do store trauma in our bodies for sure. For sure. We store trauma internally. And yoga is definitely one way to release that trauma. Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't mind being alone, but damn, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. But it doesn't last. I don't think it lasts forever. Like, I don't know, everybody's situation. Like, I'm talking to myself here because I don't think that it will last forever for me as well. And all things like this too shall pass, right? This too shall pass. But the thing that I try to look at is not the length of the situation that I'm going through, just trying to maximize the experience of going through it. So if I'm gonna be in this solitude and I'm gonna go through this phase of my journey, then let's maximize it, right? So that when the time does come, when that person or situation comes in, I've cleared and done the work I needed to while I've had the time myself, so that I don't bring that into the next situation. So just trying to maximize whatever it is that you're going through now, so you can be better on the other end. So I kind of look at it that way. Yeah. But no, this was cool. I appreciate y'all joining in. I've been debating on going live and all of this stuff, and maybe I'll do a little more of it. Debating on putting this on the YouTube channel. I was going to say earlier, like, what I have 50 times more people that are on TikTok than YouTube, which is interesting. So I was just gonna try to kind of combine the two and put this on there, but we'll see. I probably won't do this one, and we'll just have this conversation be with us. But definitely appreciate y'all joining in, and yeah, I mean, it is. So, and I'll say this in closing. So we're talking about shadow work, right? So individual shadow work and collective shadow work. I think humanity has collective shadow work that needs to be addressed and will be addressed on one level or another. And that's what I'm seeing in the potentials, right? Just as an individual has to look at themselves and deal with some of the things that has been done, the things that they have done to themselves and other people. I think from a collective, we have to look at that as well. And I think, just my opinion, and we're kind of going off on a tangent here, is artificial intelligence. You're going to see more and more of artificial intelligence coming out. You got Chat GPT, you got OpenAI, you got Google just, is coming out with some stuff. But the thing about, we talked about the mirror before. What if artificial intelligence is going to be that mirror? Like, there's a series called Black Mirror where it talks about technology and things of that nature. And they got some pretty prophetic stuff on there. But I wonder if the artificial intelligence, I don't have a problem with AI in itself, but what if it is just going to reflect the consciousness of the reality that's programming it? It's just something to think about as far as that mirror. Is it going to reflect to us our true selves? And maybe we can adjust from that. But it's like in because it's tough to self-reflect. It's tough to look at yourself. But now you're going to have this other let's just call it an entity, if you will, artificial intelligence, that will show us. Like it already has biases and all of this stuff that are built into it, because look who's programming it, right? But maybe that will be a catalyst for us to look at ourselves as well. Maybe that will be a mirror that we could look at ourselves. So just something that I just wanted to mention. This was a macro shadow work collective session. Yeah, I guess so. I appreciate it. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that, but hey, it is what it is. I mean, I think it does help. And yeah, it's a journey. It's a journey for us all. And just be patient with yourself. That's another big thing. Be patient with yourself. And I'm talking to myself as well. Be patient with yourself, because it some things take time, to heal fully. So, be patient with yourself as you're going through it, and don't, just my advice, not to judge yourself based on other people. Most people are really trying to do the best they can. I feel. I feel there's a majority. I was talking to a family member about this, and they were talking about the state of the world and all of this stuff. And I was saying that, in my opinion, the majority of people are good. They're trying to do the best that they can. We haven't got to the whole Mad Max thing where but civilization doesn't take much before we revert back to our animal instincts, right? Just let the store shelves be empty for a few weeks and see how people start showing their teeth. But in general, people try to be good, and they're trying to do the best that they can. So we have to be patient with ourselves. Extremely happy to see you. Oh, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's good to interact with you guys. And yeah, maybe we'll try to do it again later at some time. But yeah, I'm gonna call it a night, y'all. And again, appreciate all the love, appreciate all the likes. And yeah, y'all just stay safe out there and be patient with yourself, and put the mask on yourself first. It's not selfish. Take care of yourself, fill your water, fill your glass, whatever, and then you can help others. But there's nothing wrong with taking care of yourself first. All righty, y'all. Appreciate it. Y'all be good.